In the final days of the samurai era, as Japan was transitioning into the Industrial Revolution, there was a woman whose courage and bravery defined everything it meant to be a samurai. Her name was Nakano Takeko, and she led a unit of female warriors directly into battle, knowing she would almost certainly die. And when death came, she made one final deliberate choice that would ensure her body and her honor would never be claimed by the enemy. This is the story of Nakano Takeko and how she lived, fought, and died as one of the last female samurai. By the late 1800s, Japan was on the verge of something new. For over 250 years, the country has been ruled by the Tokugawa shogunate, a military government that enforced strict class hierarchies, isolation from the outside world, and a rigid social order. But in the 1850s, Western powers arrived with gunboats demanding trade, modernization, and political change. The result was chaos. Japan fractured into division, those who supported the shogunate, and those who wanted power returned to the emperor. This conflict erupted into the Boshin War in 1868, a civil war that would end the samurai era forever. One of the final strongholds of shogunate loyalty was Aizu, a northern domain known for discipline, loyalty, and fierce resistance. And it was there that Nakano Takeko lived. Nakano Takeko was born around 1847 into a samurai family. She was highly educated, which was unusual for a woman of her time, and trained extensively in martial arts, especially the naginata, a pole weapon tradition associated with female warriors. These women were called onna bugeisha. They were trained to defend their homes when men were away at war, and they were expected to fight to the death if necessary. Takeko was an exceptional fighter. She became an instructor, teaching other women martial discipline, strategy, and combat. But nothing in her life would prepare her for what was to come. In the late 1868, Imperial forces advanced on Aizu. The domain was surrounded, outgunned, unexpected, and increasingly desperate. Modern rifles faced traditional blades. Cannons destroyed temples into ruins, and supplies ran low. Officially, women were not permitted to fight, but she, at the young age of 21, understood her destiny. She gathered a group of women, sisters, students, daughters of samurai families, and formed an unofficial fighting unit. They were later called the Joshitai, the Women's Army. They were highly trained under Nakano, dedicating their lives to the blade. When the fighting reached its most desperate phase, Nakano Takeko led her unit forward. Eyewitness accounts describe her charging Imperial troops with her naginata, cutting down multiple soldiers. It was brutal and close-quarter combat, and at some point during the battle, Nakano Takeko was shot in the chest. The wound was certainly fatal. She knew she was dying, but she is a samurai and she accepts her death, but not in the hands of the enemy. In samurai culture, there was a deep fear of one thing above all else: that your body would be captured by the enemy, displayed, desecrated, used as a trophy. Nakano Takeko, bleeding and collapsing on the battlefield, called out to her sister. She begged her to do something unthinkable. She asked her sister to cut off her head, not out of despair, but in her own control. Her sister obeyed. The head was taken away and buried beneath a pine tree, so it could never be claimed or displayed by Imperial forces. Nakano Takeko was 21 years old. Fierce, loyal, and a true warrior with a baby face. The Aizu domain eventually fell, the shogunate collapsed, and the emperor was restored to power. Japan modernized at rapid speed, and stories like Nakano Takeko's were quietly set aside. But she was not forgotten. Today, a memorial stands in Aizu, and a samurai training school sits on the soil where her head was buried. Every year, women dressed as Onna bugeisha, honoring her memory. Her story has been featured in anime, graphic novels, and performance pieces around Japan. She was one of the last samurai to die in battle, and she believed in her destiny and role in society, and now history. Nakano did not fight to preserve the past. She fought because she believed dignity was worth dying for. And in the end, she was not erased by history. She was a highly respected fighter in early modern Japanese history. And that's the story of Nakano Takeko. Thank you for staying with me. I hope you enjoyed this story. Love you, bless you, and thanks. Have a good day.